Drupal 7 is going to be hitting a code freeze in about 3 months. And it is fascinating to me because I only got involved when 6 was coming out and watched how it's taken basically a year and a half for all of the different modules to get there. But I found many of the modules, even though they were in early releases, were actually very solid. I was impressed with the caliber of the work. Do you guys think that this, when Drupal 7 comes out, that it's going to take as long for...
Absolutely not. As I have mentioned, the major modules are being ported right now. We cannot have another release cycle like 6 where the major module maintainer decided to do a complete rewrite of all major modules at the same time, and there were absolutely no 6 uptake for almost a year. This cannot happen again.
Yeah, so it's helpful to frame, because you're new to the Drupal, relatively new to the Drupal community. It helps to frame what happened in the Drupal 6 release that caused, you know, Drupal 6 came out in February of 2008, and it really wasn't until February 2007. Sorry. And it really wasn't until say summer of 2008 that people were starting to really build sites on it who weren't developers and could work around the bugs. The thing that makes the Drupal 6 cycle unique is the views module. So has everybody in here used the views module? It's like a listing page generator thing, click, 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 click. That module is fantastic and amazing. And because it's so fantastic and amazing, a lot of modules decided to rely on it as a dependency, because they're like, well, why should I hard code this listing page when I don't ultimately know what my users are going to want? If I make it a view, then it's very flexible for them, and they can add a new column, or they can change it into a grid, or whatever they want to do. So in the Drupal 5 release cycle, you saw a bunch of modules either requiring views or leveraging views for a lot of their stuff. Earl Miles, the author of views, saw the limitations of the original views module, which would only work with nodes. So you couldn't make lists of users, you couldn't make lists of taxonomies, but you could only make lists of nodes. And you ended up with all these weird modules that were like trying to make users nodes and trying to make taxonomy nodes, and just really not what the node system was intended to do, just so that they work with views. So he basically put his foot down and said, I'm rewriting this whole thing from scratch because this isn't sustainable. And he did that, and it took a year. In the meantime, everybody whose modules relied on views was like, well, Earl is rewriting all of his stuff, so I might as well rewrite all of my stuff too. And what you saw was this avalanche effect of CCK decided to fundamentally rewrite itself. The project module, which powers all download pages and stuff, that decided to rewrite itself. And so all of this stuff sort of snowballed because this one guy in the community who just happened to be this really awesome developer of this wonderful tool, it kind of did this whole snowball effect. So that's why there was a big push to move some of these critical modules into core so that they're automatically updated every time Drupal comes out. I don't think views is going to make it into Drupal 7. I don't think there's any way at this point. Because it's not even ported to 7 yet. So I mean, we'd have to port it to 7 very, very quickly and then somehow squish it into core in 3 months, and I don't see it happening.
Views is not going to get into core. There is a lot of hurdles to that. One more thing I wanted to mention about contribution. If you are a freelancer or a business owner and you make money out of Drupal, but you don't want to work niches, that's fine as well. Then decide to give back in form of money, like 3% of what you make. No, that's not a lot of money. There are always various chip-ins running for various very good and badly needed purposes. That's also a very valuable contribution.
Also donating some of your employees' time.